Hello, I'm Clark Crawford, and welcome back to the latest edition of Clark Crawford Sports. Today, I'm going to be giving you an Astros versus Chicago Cubs series preview, where the Astros coming into the series are 7-16, including a 3-7 record on the road, and the Chicago Cubs are 13-9 on the season, including 7-3 at home. If you caught my first ever YouTube live stream where I talked Astros baseball on Sunday, recapping the Astros versus Nationals series, giving you my season thoughts and things like that. If you missed it, go check it out. Astros and Cubs play a 3-game series beginning tonight, Tuesday, at Wrigley Field. The first game is scheduled for 6:40 Central Time, and the probable pitching matchup is going to be J.P. France, who's 0-2 with a 7.08 ERA, against Cubs pitcher Jordan Wicks, who is also 0-2, like France, with the 5.29 ERA. These teams are meeting for the first time this season, and it's also the Astros' first trip to Wrigley Field since 2013. Wow, that's a long time ago. Over 10 years since the Astros have been to Wrigley Field. Now, for the Cubs side of things, giving you a little preview of how the Cubs are doing this year, their top performer on the year is Michael Busch, who has 6 home runs, 9 walks, and 15 RBIs while hitting .309 on the season. Also, Nico Hoerner is 16 for 40 with 5 doubles, a triple, and 6 RBIs over his past 10 games. Now, also for the Cubs side of things, they signed Cody Bellinger to a 3-year deal worth $80 million over the offseason. But Cody Bellinger, like the Astros' big free agent signing from last offseason, Jose Abreu, which I'm not going to get into right now. Cody Bellinger struggling on the year, hitting .222 with 4 homers and 15 RBIs. So the acquisition of Bellinger is not working out so far. But good news for Cubs fans is it's only April, so Bellinger has plenty of time to figure it out. Coming off of a nice year last year after a couple of down years for the Dodgers, which ended his Dodgers tenure. In games for both teams, the Cubs come into this matchup with a 6-4 record, and the Astros come in with a 3-7 record. The Cubs are also 13-9 on the year, in second place in the National League Central, the Astros' former division, if you can remember way back to a long time since the Astros were at Wrigley Field. And, well, they have plenty of history there since they were former division rivals. So this is going to be an interesting matchup, and we'll see who comes out on top. The Astros are still scuffling, but it's only April, and in any matchup, anything can truly happen. Now, another interesting tidbit coming into this series, the Astros have 214 hits, which actually leads Major League Baseball. The problem is they're 18th in runs scored, so they lead MLB in hits, but they can't bring across the runners to score after they get them on base. So that's something that definitely has to change for the ball club if they want to turn this season around, along with the pitching that's also been miserable. But mostly it's timely hitting, I think, that will turn things around. Some positives from the Astros season in terms of hoping to give them some positive vibes or whatever it is they need to turn things around. Let's say some positives so far this season. Jose Altuve, Yordan Alvarez, and Kyle Tucker are tied for the team lead with 5 home runs. Jose Altuve leads the team with a .351 batting average and a .419 on-base percentage, and Kyle Tucker leads the team with 17 RBIs. So hoping to the Astros, that's some positive news to maybe turn the season around. I don't know. It may or may not work, but I'm hoping to just spill some positive into this video to turn some things around for the ball club. Today's pitching matchup will feature Spencer Arrighetti on the Astros side of things. He'll make his 3rd career MLB start. 2 record, 7 ERA. Like I said, he's only made 2 career starts. This will be his 3rd, as he's a fill-in guy this time around in the rotation because Christian Javier went on the 15-day IL with neck discomfort. I think neck discomfort, that's kind of crazy to go on the IL or the former DL disabled list with. because, well, if you can't really pitch through a little bit of neck discomfort, that leads me to believe, is the injury worse than what the Astros are leading to believe? Because if it's just a little neck discomfort, I think Christian Javier should be able to pitch through that. But that's another conversation for another day. I just think it's a little crazy that Christian Javier can't pitch through a little neck discomfort unless, like I said, the injury is worse than what they're leading us to believe. Now, for the Chicago Cubs in the Wednesday 6:40 game, going to pitch right-hander Jameson Taillon. He is 1-0 on the year with the 1.80 ERA. He's been really good for the Cubs in his first couple starts, and he's one of the leaders of that rotation. So I think in Wednesday's matchup, the Cubs should have the advantage starting pitching-wise. But if the Astros offense shows up, the Astros could certainly win that game. And, of course, the Cubs too as well. But Houston at some point's got to start hitting. But in Chicago in the windy series, maybe the Astros get a couple more balls to fly out of the yard for some home runs. And maybe this is where the offense starts to turn it around for the season. But we'll have to wait and see. And if the offense starts to turn things around, and maybe it'll start here in Chicago. That's what I'm hoping for. And I know all the Astros fans out there are hoping for as well. The bats have got to turn it around. And if you wait too much longer, a couple more weeks, I know it's early in the season, but if you end up 10 or 15 games behind, well, it might be too late at that point, because to me, that's too big of a hole to dig out of. The Astros are only 5 games out in the big division, miraculously. And at 7-16, to me, that's a victory right there. But the victories have to start showing up on the baseball field, not in the standings, because only being 5 games behind is kind of a miracle at this point when you're almost 10 games under 500, especially if you lose tonight. In Tuesday's game, you will be 10 games under 500. We'll send out future Hall of Famer right-handed pitcher Justin Verlander, who's 1-0 with the 3 ERA, and he struck out 4 in his season debut back on Friday in a win in the Astros' last win against the Washington Nationals. We'll counter. He's 2-0 this year with the 2.11 ERA. Early season success, so the Cubs are certainly hoping he can be a staple into their rotation for years to come. But so far, he's had a nice career, and he's looking to continue that and bring home the win on Thursday in the afternoon game against the Astros. For the Astros side of things, we're hoping Justin Verlander can help turn the season around, because it's been ugly so far. He got a win in the first game, but then the Astros crapped the bed. Then the Astros crapped the bed in the next 2 games and ended up losing the series that they should have easily won against the Nationals over the weekend. So a lot of work to be done for the Astros and their side of things, but the season's not over. For any of you who believe the season is over, you're crazy. I'm just here to tell you it's not. And, well, in my latest edition of Astros Baseball Talk, like I said, the season's not over. In my latest edition of Astros Baseball Talk, it's only April. My panic meter, like I've said before, is rising, but it's not all the way at a 10. Neither should it be at the max of a 10, but there's still a lot of season to go, and I'm trying to talk some positivity into things, as some things are going well and others aren't. And we'll see if the Astros, leading into their Mexico series over the weekend, a 2-game series on Saturday and Sunday, if they can string together a couple of wins and maybe bring some momentum into traveling to Mexico and taking one of their only series of the season here in Chicago. So with all that being said, that'll wrap up the latest edition of Clark Crawford Sports. This is my preview to the Astros and Cubs series. To all of you watching, thank you for watching. If you aren't already, please subscribe to my channel. I'll have plenty more of Astros baseball talk throughout the rest of the regular season, regardless of how the season's going. And, of course, when it gets closer to football season and during football season, I'll have plenty of NFL talk to get to. But for now, signing off from Clark Crawford Sports. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe to my channel, and I'll see all of you in the next edition of Clark Crawford Sports. latest edition of Astros Baseball Talk. It's only April. My panic meter, like I've said before, is rising, but it's not all the way at a 10. Neither should it be at the max of a 10, but there's still a lot of season to go, and I'm trying to talk some positivity into things, as some things are going well and others aren't. And we'll see if the Astros, leading into their Mexico series over the weekend, a 2-game series on Saturday and Sunday, if they can string together a couple of wins and maybe bring some momentum into traveling to Mexico and taking one of their only series of the season here in Chicago. So with all that being said, that'll wrap up the latest edition of Clark Crawford Sports. This is my preview to the Astros and Cubs series. To all of you watching, thank you for watching. If you aren't already, please subscribe to my channel. I'll have plenty more of Astros baseball talk throughout the rest of the regular season, regardless of how the season's going. And of course, when it gets closer to football season and during football season, I'll have plenty of NFL talk to get to. But for now, signing off from Clark Crawford Sports. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe to my channel, and I'll see all of you in the next edition of Clark Crawford Sports.